Part 97. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 961. Yes. Young master, please wait a moment, I will do it now. Ding Er also understood. Judging from the current situation, Zhang Fulong does have important matters. Maybe he wants to take action against Elder Long Quan. Hear this. Xiao Xian also nodded secretly. He didn't expect that although this guy Zhang Fulong was not top-notch in strength, he was still more courageous than the average person. After hearing these words at this moment, it also aroused his interest. He really wanted to see how a person like Zhang Fulong, who had no cultivation level, could be so obedient to Elder Long Quan. Is it possible that it is just based on a president's order? Isn't this a bit hasty? Xiao Xian originally thought that it would be a little difficult for Zhang Fulong to deal with Long Quan. But soon, he discovered that his idea was a little different. As soon as the president's order comes out, at the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce's elders meeting, 5 or 6 people from the 8 stars of the Blue God realm suddenly appeared. These people all wore the grey robes of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. One of them even made Xiao Xian a little confused about his strength. Turns out they were all offerings from the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. This was an eye-opener for Xiao Xian. At the same time, he also secretly admired in his heart that Wanjin Chamber of Commerce was worthy of being a major force in Wanlong City. Full of foundation. There were so many strong men from 7 or 8 stars in the Blue God realm sitting here, and there was also a character whose strength he couldn't even see. No wonder Wanjin Chamber of Commerce can gain a foothold in a place like Wanlong City. Of course it is not as simple as just having money. Inside the meeting hall, soon Elder Long Quan and other elders also arrived. When they saw that a group of worshippers were also in the meeting hall and Zhang Fulong still held the president's order in his hand, their expressions also changed slightly. I've seen the old worshipper. Long Quan first bowed to several of the offerings, and then asked Zhang Fulong with an unkind expression, "Young master, as soon as the president's order came out, it means that our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce has something important or is in danger. I don't know what it is." Depose an elder who violated the rules of the Chamber of Commerce, Zhang Fulong said tit for tat, "I don't know if this matter is worth asking for an order from the president." Oh. I wonder who the young master is talking about, the elder. The corners of Long Quan's mouth twitched involuntarily. An elder who colluded with the dark demon realm to assassinate my young master, Zhang Fulong said coldly, "Elder Long Quan, do you have anything else to explain?" "You old worshipper, these are all false accusations. I, Long Quan, have been a member of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce for 20 years and have made numerous meritorious deeds. I will definitely not do such a thing." Long Quan seemed to be well prepared. The old priest, whose grey hair made Xiao Xian unable to see his strength, glanced sharply at Long Quan at this moment. There seemed to be a little anger in his eyes. The president's order comes out. Of course you have to make a decision. If you hadn't betrayed the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, how could you have the aura of the dark demon realm on your body? Say it. Long Quan's face instantly became frozen. He also didn't expect that this old priest would be so powerful, and his strength could be seen at a glance. This was a bit beyond his expectation. If they are both in the Kengshen realm, this old worshipper absolutely does not have this ability, so now, there is only one possibility. Has this old worshipper become a strong man in the Golden God realm? Old worshipper, have you been promoted to the Golden God realm? Long Quan couldn't help but ask. No. I have practiced for hundreds of years, but I have not yet understood the mystery of the Golden God realm. The old worshipper's face showed a bit of sternness. However, I also have some insights. The ordinary Kengshen realm is no longer my match. It can only be regarded as the little Golden God realm. Say it. The disciples of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce were instantly delighted. This old priest is the biggest source of confidence for their Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. His increased strength is naturally a great thing for the entire Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. That's what happened. Long Quan, you still have a chance to explain. The old worshipper turned his head and focused his attention on Long Quan again, obviously wanting to hear how he explained this matter. Hear this. Long Quan's face is as ugly as he wants. He knew that since the old worshipper appeared, there must be results. This was the case. Most of his explanations would be useless today. Old worshipper, this matter, I was confused for a moment. I would also like to ask the old worshipper to forgive me this time for the sake of my dedicated efforts for the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce for more than 20 years, without any credit or hard work. These things are all my fault and have nothing to do with anyone else. After Long Quan finished speaking, he knelt on the ground. See this scene. Having said that. But then, he introduced Xiaoxian. What the old priest said is true, but with a genius like Xiaoxian beside me, there will be no problems in the future. Tian Xiao. The old worshipper has a clear eye and a bright heart. Everyone present was also shocked. Zhang Fulong's face was obviously a little embarrassed. Even Xiaoxian was slightly surprised. Zhang Fulong also nodded. Instead, the old priest looked at Zhang Fulong and said, if you want to be the president of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, you still need some strength. After hearing this, at this moment, he could see what Zhang Fulong was thinking at a glance. He even said that he would take the initiative to accept punishment. Is this normal? After hearing these words, will you take the initiative to admit your mistake today? If so, I'm afraid, Zhang Fulong is already a corpse now. If my predictions were correct before, your current power is not at all to the point where others should be wary, right? They also heard something from Lao Zongfeng's words. He actually said that Zhang Fulong would manage the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce in the future. There were even people looking at Xiaoxian with envy. This time, Zhang Fulong was able to survive the assassination attempt in the Black Demon realm safely, and Xiaoxian took great credit for it. Judging from the previous contact with Long Quan, this guy is definitely a hardcore person who will do whatever it takes to achieve his goals. Isn't that what it means? From now on, Zhang Fulong will be the president of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce? The old priest looked Xiaoxian up and down. This. Zhang Fulong was obviously a little surprised when he heard that Lao Zongfeng did not kick Long Quan out of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce and made him a sweeping servant. But you colluded with outsiders and assassinated the young master. You can avoid the death penalty, but you can't escape the living crime. Oh. The old priest pondered for a while. I will punish you by removing you from the position of elder, banning you from the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce for 3 years, and becoming a sweeping servant. If Xiaoxian hadn't discovered the demonic aura on him in time. Yes, Elder Long Quan looked humble before leaving slowly. On the contrary, Xiaoxian and others were secretly happy. That's a good thing to say. Can't these people also be able to ride on the wind and become the management of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce? After all, Elder Long Quan has been in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce for more than 20 years and knows many secrets of our Chamber of Commerce. If you leave, it will be detrimental to your future management of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. They all know it. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 962. 1 star in the Blue God realm. Such strength is not enough to keep you safe in Wanglong City, right? The old worshipper could see Xiaoxian's strength at a glance. 1 star in the Kangshen realm. Perhaps, in some relatively weak areas, it is considered a good strength, but in Wanglong City, where there are many strong people, this strength is not enough. Besides, Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is still such a big chamber of commerce. if there is no strong person sitting in charge. Zhang Fulong, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, is also uneasy. Old worshipper, you may not know. Half a year ago, Xiao Xian was just a practitioner at the beginning of the spiritual god realm. In just half a year, he has already reached the blue god realm. Zhang Fulong said quickly. Oh. Half a year to spend in the spiritual god realm. If that's true, he's a genius. The old priest's face looked a little strange now. He looked at Xiao Xian and said, in the future, there may be a chance to hit the golden god realm. Say it. The expressions of some of the disciples present changed instantly. There is no other reason. It's just that the ancestors' evaluation is a bit too high. For ordinary people, it is definitely very difficult to get such an evaluation. Golden God Realm. On the giant continent of Eastern Wasteland. Among the billions of beings, there are only 3 powerful people in the Golden God Realm on the bright side. They are all disciples of the former overlord of the Eastern Barren Giant Continent, Old Man Tianyan. As for whether there are any strong men in the Golden God Realm among some of the established sects, it is unknown. Now, Xiao Xian can actually get such an evaluation from Lao Zonfeng. It's enough to make you proud. Even Zhang Fulong was stunned. He has been with Lao Zonfeng since he was a child, but even so, he has never seen Lao Zonfeng praise others like this in so many years. Could it be that Xiao Xian really has the ability to become a strong man in the Golden God Realm in the future? Thank you, old worshipper, for your compliments. Young man must do your best to increase your strength and help Mr. Fulong achieve hegemony. Xiao Xian is also very sensible. He knew that the old priest praised him like this just because he wanted him to help Zhang Fulong more, nothing more. That being the case, why didn't he just go with the flow? Gives Lao some face? Having said this, the people next to him also secretly sighed, and all of them cast envious glances at Xiao Xian. Correct. Old worshipper, there is still a moment that I need to report to you. A purple spirit mine has appeared near Wanglong City. Tomorrow, our Chamber of Commerce will compete with the City Lord's Mansion and Qinglei Palace. I wonder if the old minister has time to go. Zhang Fulong asked tentatively. In fact, from the bottom of his heart, he still hoped that Lao Zonfeng could go. This time the competition. Although on the surface, it is just a competition between young people, but if there is no strong person sitting in charge, they are still somewhat troublesome. Even, from a certain perspective, if there are old priests in charge then, they can be more proactive. Purple Chi Spirit Mine. This kind of thing hasn't appeared in Wanglong City for many years. The old priest nodded, and then continued, the emergence of something of this level also explains some problems. Resurrection of spiritual energy. Lao Zongfeng's words were not explained clearly. But Xiao Xian heard it clearly. He could feel that Lao Zongfeng had an underlying meaning, that is, he wanted to talk about this matter. If someone else says so, Xiao Xian may not be able to take it seriously yet. But now, he also heard just now that the strength of this old worshipper was actually above the blue god realm. It should be only one step away from the golden god realm. Such a character. What they said was naturally very weighty. From the attitude of this old priest, Xiao Xian can tell something, which at least shows that the old priest is also interested in the purple chi spirit mine. That being the case, it didn't seem impossible that he wanted to do something. I dare to ask the old priest, will you be there this time? Zhang Fulong asked carefully. That's all. Since you said so, I will come forward to support you. The old priest had a smile on his face. By the way, let's see if those old guys are still alive. City Lord's Mansion, Qinglei Hall. These two are considered to be powerful sects in Wanglong City. In Wanglong City, the two of them plus the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce can be regarded as a tripartite situation. No one can do anything to anyone. Now, Seeing that the old worshipper is about to come forward, everyone's faces are a little more curious and doubtful. After all, Lao Zonfeng has been in seclusion for so many years. After hearing the old priest's agreement, a happy expression appeared on his face. The old priest smiled slightly and said, "Little friend, I just tried to test you. I just wanted to see if you are a spy from the dark demon realm. Please don't get me wrong. I heard that you saved the young master this time, which can be regarded as helping our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. This third-level monster inner elixir can be regarded as a reward from our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce." It was Zhang Fulong. "It doesn't matter." The old worshipper said directly, "I have something to explain. It is indeed the strength of one star in the blue god realm." "Old worshipper, you." Zhang Fulong also looked a little embarrassed. He hit this Dao Qi. Xiao Xian's face did not relax, he still looked at the old worshipper vigilantly, and his steps changed into a defensive posture. After hearing this, everyone from the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce also left honestly. Only Zhang Fulong and Xiao Xian stayed. This great power did not burst out from his body. After hearing this explanation. However, to be able to react like this is indeed a sign of considerable strength. Face everyone. However, this grey Dao Qi actually penetrated the sword Qi directly and continued to hit Xiao Xian. I see. Now, he actually wants to take the initiative to fight for the purple spirit mine. Does this mean something? The old priest was still wary when he saw Xiao Xian. A full third grade. If it hadn't been for the president's order, the old worshipper wouldn't have come forward. On top of the demon pill, extremely cold spiritual power exudes. Fulong and this brother stay. Never cared about worldly things. After everyone left, he actually took out a cyan demon pill. He didn't expect that the old priest would suddenly take action. He quickly concentrated his energy and waved a sword energy at will. This scene really surprised Xiao Xian. Instead, it appeared out of thin air. Xiao Xian was also surprised. Crucial moment. Just when he was about to crush the river of time and randomly teleport to other worlds, this great Tao Qi suddenly stopped. It turned out to be a demon pill from a blue-eyed snake beast. Just when Xiao Xian was confused, the old priest took action directly, and a grey aura attacked Xiao Xian's face. You all retreat. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 963. Xiao Xian was a little surprised. He is worthy of being a strong man in the realm of Little Golden God? Spend generously. This was the first time they met, and he actually took out such a valuable thing, which really surprised him. Third-level monster. Compared with human cultivators, monsters with such strength are equivalent to the strength of 7 or 8 stars in the blue god realm. At least, it is not something that Xiao Xian can deal with now. Can you get such a demon pill? For him now, it is definitely an improvement, at least it can upgrade his serious sword to a higher level. This. But Xiao Xian understood even more. There is no such thing as a free lunch. If he takes this demon pill, he will probably have to shoulder some responsibilities in the future. Since it is something given by the old man. Brother Xiao Xian, just take it? Seeing that Xiao Xian was still hesitating, Zhang Fulong also said directly, "Don't worry, our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is not like other sections. All the worshipping elders stayed voluntarily. If Brother Xiao Xian finds another good branch in the future, he can naturally leave at any time." Hear this. Even Xiao Xian couldn't help being stunned for a moment. He didn't expect Zhang Fulong to be so frank. How could the rules of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce be so simple? Doesn't that mean that within the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, those people can come and leave as they please? No rules at all? Think of this. Xiao Xian couldn't help but be a little surprised. He was once the head of the family and knew that there would be no rule without rules. If a family wants long-term peace and stability, the most important thing is to establish rules. At least the strong ones at the top cannot be lost casually. Otherwise, if these strong men leave, didn't the whole family fall apart? But now, listening to what this old priest meant, he didn't care at all about the loss of combat power at the top. Is this normal? In the end, Zhang Fulong took over. With a smile, he helped Xiao Xian take the demon elixir from the third-grade monster, handed it to Xiao Xian, and said, "Our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is a chamber of commerce organization. We don't have the idea of sex competing for hegemony and contradictions. The reason why there are not so many strong people is for the sake of harmony. Make money. As long as it is profitable, we, the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, will not refuse to do business with anyone. So, generally speaking, our Chamber of Commerce does not have any enemies. Even if there is, we are not afraid." "I see." Xiao Xian nodded. He also understood what was going on. Indeed, logically speaking, Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is just a chamber of commerce. If it opens its doors to do business, it will naturally not have so many enemies. As for the other side, even if there are enemies, with the financial resources and connections of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, they can be easily dealt with. There is no need for many powerful people gathered within the Chamber of Commerce. Even if there is really a sect crisis, a powerful person like Lao Zongzong, who is in the Golden God realm, can also help solve 80% of the troubles, unless a real master of the Golden God realm comes to the door. Otherwise, I'm afraid no one can do anything to them. After knowing this, naturally, Xiao Xian was not polite and directly took the third-grade demonic beast inner elixir and expressed his gratitude to Lao Zongfeng and Zhang Fulong. "Really? Although I got the demon pill from Lao Zong, the old worshipper didn't make any other demands on him. In the end, he just said, 'This time, we have to rely on my little friend for the battle for the purple spirit mine. It's a matter of course, I can rest assured.'" Although Lao Kongfang didn't say it clearly. But Xiao Xian also understood that this was a reminder to him to work hard on the purple spirit mine. To this, he had no other opinion. That person's hands are short. Now that you have obtained the benefits of Lao Zongfeng, you will naturally have to expend effort in the subsequent battles. Just don't know. How strong are the so-called City Lords Palace Mu Shaokong and Qinglei Palace Shueqinglan? Have they reached the 3-star peak of Blue God Realm? Return to the guest room. Xiao Xian got a piece of news from Qingli. After the Blood Wolf mercenary group killed the Mu family and the Zhao family one after another, they actually went to the royal family of the Qinghua Empire and expressed their willingness to serve as a mercenary group for the royal family. The news got out. It made Xiao Xian a little surprised. Based on his experience fighting against the Blood Wolf mercenary group, he found that the Blood Wolf mercenary group was still capable. At least, in Mingzhou Domain and Wanglong City, they are all good at taking pictures. Moreover, Lang Tu is the leader of the Blood Wolf mercenary group. Unruly character. Work vigorously and resolutely. He is a good tool man. Unexpectedly, he was so sensible that he took the initiative to become the royal mercenary group of the Qinghua Empire without any further explanation. This is in line with Xiao Xian's thoughts. After all, with his relationship with Qingli. With Xiao Xian's words. After hearing this, I'm afraid that even if Lang Tu is asked to serve as a guard for the Qinghua Empire, he will be willing to do so. The Blood Wolf mercenary group stood up. Xiao Xian couldn't help being stunned. Xiao Xian said casually, "You can send someone to tell Lang Tu that as long as they stay in the Qinghua Empire honestly, I will not treat them badly." She knew very well how important Xiao Xian's words were to her and the Qinghua Empire. Don't say anything else. Whether the Qinghua Empire can rise depends on the ability of the royal family. After we deal with the Mu family and the Zhao family, there will be a lot of trouble in the Qinghua Empire. After hearing this, their sole contract is with me. Lang Tu doesn't dare to mess with it. It can be said. Have your Qinghua Empire royal family agreed? Xiao Xian asked casually. My father wanted to agree, but because of their notorious reputation, he didn't make up his mind in the end, Qing Li said. He also solved the Mu family and Zhao family neatly, which was a good vote for Xiao Xian. He will definitely help the Qinghua Empire. There are some things that even if Qing Li doesn't say anything, he will help the Qinghua Empire do it well. Qing Li felt grateful inside. Then, thank you very much. Qing Li looked grateful. In this regard, King Li is very confident in his father Qing Cheng. Take the initiative to help the Qinghua Empire? Say it. It was like giving King Li a shot in the arm. Qing Li said with a hint of guilt, originally, I should have stayed with you. Did not expect. Xiao Xian smiled. But then, he shook his head and said, it doesn't matter. There are still many strong people in Wanglong City. If you are not strong enough, you may be in danger if you stay here. It is better to go back. It would be a good thing if the royal family of the Qinghua Empire had the protection of the Blood Wolf mercenary group. There's no need to be polite between us. From now on, if you need anything, just contact the Blood Wolf mercenary group directly. You can use my name. As for the future, Xiao Xian's kindness to the Qinghua Empire can be said to be as high as the heavens and the earth. She understood very well how important Xiao Xian's words were to Lang Tu after having the soul contract. You can rest assured about this. Then, I will return to the Qinghua Empire. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 964. Ye Qing Li nodded. But Xiao Xian hesitated for a moment and warned, although the problems of the Mu family and the Zhao family have been solved, your royal family must seize the time to improve its strength. If there is no strength bonus, there may be other rebel families in the future. King Li nodded. She also understood that what Xiao Xian said was right. The reason why the Qinghua Empire encountered such trouble. The reason is that they do not have enough strength, and it is precisely because of this that the Mu family and Zhao family's ambitions are born. And the Qinghua Empire wants peace and prosperity. It requires their royal family to be strong enough. Look back. Your Qinghua Empire can recruit some capable disciples from Qinghua Academy. Xiao Xian suggested, I believe that Dean Kanglong will not embarrass you. After hearing this, Qing Li was stunned for a moment. Later, he also reacted. She naturally understood that although Qinghua Academy was within the Qinghua Empire, it had never actively contacted the Qinghua Empire. Instead, it has always promoted itself as an independent college. For this, although the Qinghua Empire was angry, it was helpless. After all, the elite talented disciples recruited by Qinghua Academy are basically from the Qinghua Empire. But finally, Qinghua Academy, after accepting these disciples into the academy, did it not benefit the Qinghua Empire? Isn't this equivalent to sucking the blood of the Qinghua Empire? But it's different now. Within Qinghua Academy, I am afraid that Xiao Xian's reputation will be even louder than Kanglong's. With Xiao Xian's call, the elite disciples in Qinghua Academy haven't taken the initiative to come to you. Join the Qinghua Empire? This is for the Qinghua Empire. Definitely a good thing. Moreover, this will be a long-term good thing for the Qinghua Empire, as long as the Qinghua Empire handles this matter well. In the future, there will be a steady stream of elite disciples taking the initiative to join. In this way, the Qinghua Empire has a promising future. Thank you so much. Qing Li's face was filled with gratitude. It's just a little effort. This is nothing, but, don't you feel that there are some problems behind the active rebellion of the Mu family and the Zhao family? Xiao Xian shook his head. Do they want to overthrow your King Hua royal family just by relying on their strength? They are not fools, and there is no way they would make such a stupid decision. About this question, Qing Li naturally nodded one after another. She also understands. Although the Zhao family and the Mu family have always been the thorns in the King Hua Empire. But if you want them to decide to rebel, still need some reasons. Otherwise, even if they have great courage, they will not be able to directly challenge the entire King Hua Empire. So they must have someone behind them. Kanglong Empire. After investigation, we found that the person most likely to do this is the Kanglong Empire. Qing Li said through gritted teeth. Xiao Xian was not surprised by this answer. The so-called skinny camel is bigger than a horse. The royal family of the King Hua Empire, no matter how you put it, was the family that once ruled the entire empire. Even though it is in decline, it is definitely not something that ordinary families can mess with. For so long, they did not destroy the Mu family and the Zhao family, which shows that there must be support from other families behind them. Do the math. Among the nearby sect empires, only the Kanglong Empire has this ability and idea. After hearing this, Xiao Xian also nodded secretly. This was pretty much what he expected. But he felt, since the Kanglong Empire dares to do this, it will definitely have backup plans, and maybe it will continue to attack the King Hua Empire without giving up. You should also be careful. Perhaps, the Kanglong Empire will not give up, and may come up with other ways to cause trouble for you. You must be prepared. Xiao Xian said directly. Qing Li also nodded naturally. She knew very well that what Xiao Xian said was right, but at the same time, she understood better that if Xiao Xian stayed in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, he would naturally encounter more troubles. With her current power, she couldn't help. If she wants to make some contributions of her own, the only way may be to increase her own strength. At least he has to become the Blue God realm. Maybe it would be possible to help Xiao Xian. However, the King Hua Empire is an empire after all, and the basic foundation is still there. It is said that as long as you comprehend the Great Dao in the Imperial Jade Seal, you will have the opportunity to break through the Blue God realm and touch the threshold of the Golden God realm. Certainly. Most sects really don't have such a big hand. In a mine, disciples from the three sects were already standing full of people. On that note, one of them is the leader of the city lord's mansion, and the other is the leader of King Glei Palace. The next day, Xiao Xian followed De Chongfeng and Zhang Fulong of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce to a spiritual mine on the outskirts of Wanglong City. She should obviously be a cold goddess-like figure. Xiao Xian also nodded secretly. Even Qing Cheng, the emperor of the King Hua Empire, has not been able to comprehend it after decades of continuous enlightenment. Menjian and Lewin looked like figures at the level of sect masters. The two people you have to face today are disciples who have been carefully raised by the city lord's palace and King Glei Palace for so many years. It is said that his strength has already reached the Golden God realm. It seems that my opponents are Mu Shaokong and Xue Qinglin. I don't know what their strength is. But this time, Mu Shaokong and Xue Qinglin seem to be quite strong. Xiao Xian nodded. King Gli will definitely give it a try. Zhang Fulong explained to Xiao Xian from the side, however, this is not the opponent you have to face. In this Wanglong city, there is indeed a crouching tiger, hidden dragon. A random purple spirit mine can actually make two people who are almost at the threshold of the Golden God realm come forward. The leader of the city lord's mansion is a beautiful woman, wearing a long red skirt, with her slender legs looming in the skirt. I don't know if they are truly strong. The leader of King Glei Palace is a fat middle-aged man. Originally, Xiao Xian thought that Zhang Fulong was already a relatively fat person, but compared with this leader, he was really a little surprised. These are legendary things. Menjian, Liwen. Such a person is naturally Lao Kongfeng's opponent, so he shouldn't go up to fight with him. It would be better for him to fight honestly against his opponent. I know. On the contrary, Zhang Fulong looked much slimmer. Zhang Fulong explained, but it's much better than people like Lei Kong. Certainly. Apam's beautiful and delicate face was filled with coldness. Just talking about it? I saw. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 965. Xiao Xian was shocked at first. But he soon calmed down. Indeed, although Lei Kong was the disciple who stood out in the baptism of Tianyuan at that time. But now, maybe it's nothing. In Wanglong City, only those who have reached the Blue God realm are qualified to speak on some matters. Moreover, this Kangshen realm must be at least around 5 stars. This is most vividly reflected in Wanglong City. A disciple like Lei Kong. Although he is only one step away from the Blue God realm, from a certain perspective, disciples like him are just one of thousands of people who have reached the great perfection of the spiritual God realm, nothing more. Like Mu Shaokong, Xue Qinglan, a true 3-star of the Blue God realm. It's simply not a one-dimensional person. I just don't know how strong these two people are. It should be, not an ordinary 3-star Blue God realm, right? Xiao Xian couldn't help but be curious. He made a rough guess. Since these two people can represent the City Lord's Palace and King Glei Palace in the battle, their strength should still be strong. At the moment, Xiao Xian didn't want to reveal his strength, but looked back and saw Qing Lingyun and Gu Len walking behind him. Obviously everyone recognized his strength. He was not surprised by this. After all, with the strength he had shown before, he was able to defeat these two people at will. Did not expect. Even Malao worshippers came out today. Think about it, Lao Zongzong should have broken through the Golden God realm and become the 4th powerful Golden God realm on the mainland, right? Lei Wan, who was white and fat, first glanced at Menyan for a few times. Then, he deliberately complimented the old worshipper. To this, the disciples and elders present couldn't help but look at the old worshipper, and they were all a little curious. Golden God realm. Accompanied by the revival of spiritual energy. On the Eastern Barren continent, there will definitely be relatively powerful people, and there will even be some powerful people in the Golden God realm who stay hidden from the world. But anyone with a discerning eye can hear it. Lei Wan's words just now were meant to make fun of Mu Lao Chong. It's a bit despising to protector Lei. The old man has been in seclusion for so many years, but he still hasn't reached the Golden God realm. Mu Lozong shook his head and looked regretful. I have gained a lot more understanding of the Golden God realm, but I still can't take that step. These words are clearly derogatory and covertly complimentary. Lei Wan and Menyan's faces changed slightly. In fact, if we don't fight, no one knows whether what Malao Zongfeng said is true or false. However, no matter for Lei Wan or Menyan, they would not fight against Mu Lao for no reason. How many levels of understanding of the Golden God realm? Malao Zongzong, is what you said true? Lei Wan couldn't help but be a little curious. If this is true, your strength has been greatly improved. About this question, Mu Lozong smiled but did not respond. Others become mature with age. He understands very well that there are some things that cannot be said too bluntly, so that he can remind his opponents of his own strength. It also prevents opponents from attacking secretly. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Why not? Ignored by Mu Lao. Lei Wan's face was also a little ugly. However, he also understood that before Mu Lao worshipped in seclusion, his strength was not weak. Now there is a high probability that there will be some breakthroughs, which is also a big challenge for him. If you are not sure enough, taking the initiative to challenge is definitely not a good thing. Moreover, what Mu Lao worshipped was the Greywood method, which had amazing defensive capabilities. Judging from the previous battles, normal person, it is still very difficult to defeat him. Okay. The most important thing today is the purple chi spirit mine. As for the matters between you, don't talk about it openly. Menyan came out of the battle. There are 9 disciples from our 3 families. How about putting them on the same fighting battlefield at the same time? Whichever family's disciples can stand at the end will get control of the purple chi spirit mine. This suggestion is made. It actually aroused the curiosity of Lei Wan and Mu Lao. The two of them first looked at each other, and then they both focused on Meng Yan. Master Meng won't have laid any trap, right? Lei Wan asked directly. After hearing this, Meng Yan had a bit of a sneer on her face. What does Protector Thunder mean? Does it mean that you, the Green Thunder Palace, don't dare to fight? Humph, our Green Thunder Palace is on the eastern wilderness continent, there is nothing we dare not do. Lei Wan looked proud. Then what's there to be noisy about? Meng Yan said disdainfully. Lei Wan's face was a little angry. That's pretty quick. Mu Lao worshipped and nodded. He could hear it. Menjian's suggestion is actually a once-and-for-all solution. 3 families compete. No matter who fights first. The contestants who participate in the competition later will get some advantages. Therefore, most of the time no one wants to participate in the battle in the first place. The method proposed by Meng Yan seemed a lot simpler and more crude, and it was fair to the 3 sects. I think so. Master Meng's suggestion is quite fair. Malao Zonfang said directly, but, shouldn't it be a little more difficult for them? Say it. Menjian and Lei Wan also set their sights on Mu Lao, and they were a little confused about what he meant. 3-way battle. This is inherently difficult. However, Malao Zonfeng actually plans to make it more difficult. Is this because they don't have enough trouble? For a while, many elders and disciples of the sect looked at Malao's offering with doubtful eyes. Malao's sacrifice, I don't know, what do you mean by this? Even Menjian had a bit of doubt on her face. It's quite simple. In a 3-party war, if everyone protects themselves and doesn't take the initiative to attack, wouldn't it be delayed for a long time? Mu Lao said, in order to save time, wouldn't it be a good thing if they could end the battle quickly? End the battle quickly? In such an important competition to compete for the purple spirit mine. How could Malao Zhongsong say such a thing? Seem. In his heart. How simple it is to solve this matter. But at the same time, it also showed that he was very confident in his side of the competition. That being the case. Instead, the faces of Meng Yan and Lei Wan changed slightly. Malao sacrifice, so you are very confident in the contestants of your Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Lei Wan said directly, don't you know that the person participating in the competition in our Qinglei Palace this time is Xue Qinglin? Said. Behind Lei Wan. A tall man with a naked upper body and a ferocious green dragon tattooed on his body stood up. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 966. See this person. Among the 3 forces present, many disciples had solemn expressions on their faces. One by one. It was as if they had seen some terrifying scene, and even a few timid people took the initiative to retreat. This made Xiao Xian a little confused. Mu Xiaokong and Xue Qinglin are both strong men, and they are also strong men with 3 stars in the Blue God realm. There is no doubt about this, and no one needs to say more. He also knows to be careful when facing it. But now, Is the reaction of these disciples a bit too big? Even if Schwekinglen is a talented person and has reached 3 stars in the Kengshen realm, he doesn't seem to be so afraid of them, right? Is there no problem? Thinking of this, Xiaoxian couldn't help but look puzzled. Did not expect. I didn't expect that this blue dragon's bloodline would be swallowed by him after all. Zhang Fulong also had a bit of admiration in his eyes. He turned around and saw the confused Xiaoxian and explained, "You may not know that Schwekinglen used to be just an ordinary talented person, but he accidentally got ahead. The Qinglong bloodline actually forcibly swallowed the latter. Forcibly swallowing the dragon bloodline. Is this true?" Xiaoxian was also shocked. The bloodline of the mythical beasts basically comes from ancient times, and even a true strong man in the Golden God realm would not dare to say the word devour lightly. A mere Kengshen realm. How dare you take the initiative to devour the blood of the divine beast? Is it possible that this guy doesn't want to live long? But this is not a real blue dragon beast, it's just a mixed blood blue dragon, not a pure blood blue dragon. Seeing Xiaoxian's shock, Zhang Fulong also reminded him. Hear this. Xiao Suanke nodded slowly. Indeed. If so, perhaps it can still be explained. But even so, it is enough to prove that this Schwekinglen is indeed a ruthless person, and he has the courage to devour the hybrid green dragon. A few months ago, Schwekinglen has not completely devoured this hybrid green dragon. He only has half of the green dragon tattoo on his body. Zhang Fulong said, unexpectedly, a blue dragon tattoo is now complete. So to say, it was in these few days that Schwekinglen completely refined this blue dragon. Xiaoxian couldn't help but be a little curious. According to Zhang Fulong, this Schwekinglen actually spent several months refining Qinglong. This is absolutely shocking. After all, for so long, he has never seen someone who can suppress a person with the blood of a divine beast with his own strength. The previous Qinglong. Although he is born with the blood of Qinglong. However, his strength was too weak, and in the end, he didn't even achieve anything famous. He was easily killed by the giant sky flame beast. It is simply a shame in the bloodline of mythical beasts. Regarding this point, Xiaoxian couldn't help but look at Schwekinglen a few more times. Your opponent is not just Schwekinglen. This Mu Shaokong is also a big trouble, he is an alchemist. Alchemist? Xiaoxian was stunned. After coming to this continent, this was not the first time he heard about the profession of alchemist, but he had never seen it head on. Now, there is this Mu Shaokong. He was somewhat interested, wanting to see how strong this alchemist was and whether it was worth his while to deal with it. I heard that alchemists are generally very weak in combat. Is it? After Xiaoxian actually asked it, he knew that the answer to this question was not that simple. Obviously. The people in the city lord's mansion are not fools either. With such an important resource like the purple chi spirit mine, it was impossible for them to send out a weak hand. This shows that Mu Shaokon's combat effectiveness is still very strong. That's not true. Although this Mu Shaokong is an alchemist, he does have many tricks and is very powerful. Zhang Fulong said, in addition, he also has a lot of elixirs that he refined on his body. Once he sees that the situation is not going well, he will use the elixirs, which is very tricky. After hearing these words, Xiaoxian also frowned slightly. As expected, Mu Shaokong and Schwekinglen were both very difficult to deal with. They were both very powerful people. Fortunately, I heard that the two of them are not on good terms. That might be something you can exploit. Zhang Fulong said, if you can quickly deal with one of them, you may still have a chance to win. For this word, Xiaoxian felt a little dumbfounded in his heart. Quick fix for one? How easy is this? Hey. In that case, these things are simple. Hearing these words, Xiaoxian was naturally moved. You must know that for ordinary people, in the sect, if they want to obtain resources, they must use merit in exchange. He accepted it very easily. Zhang Fulong saw Xiao Xian's thoughts and said directly, as for other things, you can rest assured that as long as you defeat these two people, you will have a share of the purple spirit mine. I will definitely use some means to let them know who should own this purple spirit mine. If there is a chance today. Even the most stupid Kangshen realm cultivator. It can be said. He didn't mind and got rid of these two people by the way. If he wants to get a share of the purple spirit mine, he must show his ability and merit. With enough purple spirit stones, you can go smoothly in the blue god realm, and get closer to the legendary golden god realm in the future. Now, defeat two people. Xiao Xian said with a smile. Only. Purple chi spirit mine is a rare mineral vein specifically for the blue god realm. The purple chi spirit stone produced in this vein is very beneficial to the cultivation of the blue god realm. This is definitely an amazing reward. Just like now. Regarding the previous words. Battle. Mu Shaokong and Xue Qinglin, neither of these two guys are famous talented disciples in Wanglong City. Does he have a share? What methods do Mu Shaokong and Xue Qinglin have? How could Zhang Fulong pay so much attention to it? However, now that he heard Zhang Fulong's last words, his face looked a little different. You know, at this time, the people standing in front of him are not ordinary people. Good. Is there a chance to get a copy of the purple chi spirit mine? In the ordinary Kangshen realm, it is naturally very difficult to obtain the purple chi spirit mine, let alone an unlimited supply. Is this, really not a joke? Good. He didn't care yet. Not only did he defeat many of the proud men like Mu Shaokong and Xue Qinglin, he even killed many of them. I know, this must be hard, but I believe in you. After saying this, there was still a bit of curiosity on his face. Xiao Xian smiled. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 967. On the fighting stage. Behind Xiao Xian stood Qing Lingyun and Gu Leng. Behind Mu Shaokong and Xue Qinglin, there were also two powerful men with 3 stars in the Kangshen realm. Now, the two people's eyes couldn't help but focus on Xiao Xian. There is no other reason, but the way Xiao Xian behaves is indeed a bit strange. So calm? Is he just a 1-star person in the blue god realm? Now, how can you be so calm when facing two powerful men with 3 stars in the blue god realm at the same time? How can this be? Brother Qinglin. Looking at your appearance now, it seems that you have completely swallowed that green dragon? So, your strength has been greatly improved, right? Mu Shaokong is a young man wearing white clothes and a pale face. This guy had a sickly look on his face, and he looked like he was going to die soon. Ashamed, ashamed. I swallowed it reluctantly, but it took me several months. It was really painful. Xue Qinglin is a bald, muscular man. It was in sharp contrast to the skinny Mu Shaokong. A few months. Swallowing a hybrid blue dragon is something that many people would envy. I think, you don't need to be modest. Mu Shaokong sneered. Ha ha ha. Brother Shaokong, it seems that you have almost refined the 100-turn pill, right? Are you still trying to hide it from me? Xue Qinglin also said directly. These two people are singing together here. It made Xiao Xian an outsider, for no other reason than that he didn't know either of these two people. Although according to Zhang Fulong's introduction, he generally understood that these two people were probably very strong and talented. Now we have this opportunity. He really wanted to hear more about each other, and he could learn more about these two guys. But soon, the idea fell through. Mu Shaokong and Xue Qinglin were not fools either. They quickly noticed that there was an outsider Xiao Xian. The two of them are old rivals. They also have some understanding of each other and know the strength of their opponents. However, Xiao Xian is different. It was an inexplicable opponent, an opponent they had never seen before, so they had to be somewhat wary. Who is this? It seems that he is the representative disciple of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Schwekinglen had a bit of contempt on his face. Wanjin Chamber of Commerce always likes to spend money to hire disciples. It's really ridiculous. Bone cold. Didn't expect it was you. Mu Xiaokong was sharp-eyed, and he immediately recognized the coldness. You were also hired by the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce? How much money will the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce give you? Bone Leng raised his head. When he saw Mu Xiaokong, he nodded slightly. 200,000 Dao stones. You too, please show mercy later. After hearing this, Mu Xiaokong and Schwekinglen looked at each other instead, with a bit of contempt on their faces. However, Xiao Xian's expression was not so good. Although he also looked down upon Qing Lingyun and Gu Leng. But now they are comrades in arms after all, and they should help each other. Who knew that now, before anything happened, there would be a traitor among them? And this Gu Leng was the person Elder Long Quan had high hopes for before. So spineless. This really annoyed him a bit. Bone cold. What did you say? Xiao Xian asked coldly. Regarding Xiao Xian's question, Gu Leng didn't even have any regrets. Instead, he said confidently, Mu Xiaokong and Schwekinglen are both the proud sons of Wanlong City. With our strength, we cannot defeat our opponents. You said you couldn't defeat it? What if I could defeat it? Xiao Xuanyuan said calmly. If you can defeat it, you can do whatever you want me to do. Bone Leng shook his head. He had fought against Xiao Xian before. Although, he could see that Xiao Xian was indeed a very powerful person, and his soul power was extremely powerful. But this is not the reason to defeat Mu Xiaokong and Schwekinglen. He took money from the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. However, 200,000 Dao stones were not worth his efforts. Do you think so too? Defection in battle. Xiao Xian has not seen such things before, but now, he is not interested in solving Gu Leng. Instead, he turned back to ask Qing Lingyun. I'll do my best. Since I promised you Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, I will naturally do this well. Qing Lingyun's answer was also very direct. Otherwise, wouldn't I be sorry for the 200,000 Dao stones? Although this is said easily. Instead, Xiao Xian was grateful for some business opportunities. Judging from the experiences of Gu Leng and Qing Lingyun. Just like them. It seems that he can make a lot of money as a mercenary. If that's the case, why wouldn't he do it? But Xiao Xian also knew. Such a thing also requires him to solve today's troubles before he can talk about it. Good. Gu Leng, since you don't want to participate, then leave. Xiao Xian said directly. After hearing this, Mu Xiaokong said sadly. Gu Leng smiled instead. Although they did not regard Xiao Xian as such a great enemy, they were still willing to see Xiao Xian destroy the Great Wall and reduce the power on their own side. Could it be that in Xiao Xian's heart, having another teammate could be a bad thing for him? Gu Leng was immediately furious. The other side. Do you really think that you can defeat these people easily? He can feel it. Is it possible? This can be regarded as a disguised expression of his anger. This is a bit interesting. Xiao Xian, are you crazy? What did you say? Before the war started, Xiao Xian actually wanted to drive away one of his own people. They also looked at Xiao Xian with great interest. Could it be that he thought that with his own strength, he could defeat the two of us? This Xiao Xian took the initiative to drive away his teammates? What's happening here? Can't figure this out. Although he took Elder Long Quan 200,000 Dao stones. He wished he could jump out and have another battle with Xiaoxian. Mu Xiaokong and Xue Qinglin also looked at each other, looking at Xiaoxian's operation with some confusion. Gu Leng and Qing Lingyun were stunned for a moment. In fact, since he was casually defeated by Xiaoxian, he hated Xiaoxian in his heart. The battle hasn't started yet. Xiaoxian's words were not a joke. On the contrary, it seemed that he really wanted to drive him away. Interesting. You don't have to worry about what I will do next. I don't allow a time bomb around me at this time, Xiaoxian said impolitely. This time. Hear this. What's going on? In Xiaoxian's heart, he plans to fight against the 6 masters of the City Lord's Mansion and Qinglai Palace alone? But he understood that even if he really jumped out, he would not be Xiaoxian's opponent. But in his heart, he still hoped that Xiaoxian could lose this competition and even suffer losses from Mu Xiaokong and Xue Qinglin. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 968. Ha ha ha. I, Gu Leng, can be considered a somewhat famous person in Wanlong City. I didn't expect that I would be humiliated by you today. Xiaoxian, the clay figurine still has some anger. I advise you, don't push me too hard. His eyes were cold and cold. Before being found by Elder Long Quan, he thought that he was in Wanlong City except for top talented disciples like Mu Xiaokong and Xue Qinglin. It should be considered relatively strong. Who knows? After meeting Xiaoxian, he was directly crushed by the latter. This has always been a knot in his heart. Now, standing on the fighting platform, he originally wanted to help Wanjin Chamber of Commerce defeat several disciples from other sects. Although he may not be able to defeat Mu Xiaokong and Xue Qinglin. But if he can defeat a few ordinary disciples, it will be considered his value, proving that he did not get the 200,000 Dao stones in vain. Who knows now? How could Xiaoxian bring him such a big surprise? Just let him leave? Not letting him participate in the fight? Isn't this a slap in the face in front of everyone? At the same time, the changes on the fighting platform also surprised the people of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Even Zhang Fulong looked at Xiaoxian in disbelief, his eyes full of doubts. He is someone who has known Xiaoxian for a relatively long time. Such a long time. He knew very well that Xiaoxian was definitely not a reckless person. There must be a reason for driving his teammates away before the battle. Talk about it. Both Gu Leng and Qing Lingyun were recruited by Elder Long Quan. They should be more partial to Elder Long Quan, but when Elder Long Quan was driven away by him, these two people would probably be a little shaken in their hearts. Zhang Fulong also had doubts about this. But he didn't expect that Xiaoxian would be so decisive in doing things, directly trying to drive away Gu Leng at this critical moment. This somewhat worried him. Although Xiaoxian's strength is not weak. But Mu Xiaokong and Xue Qinglin are both well-known talented people in Wanlong City, and now Xiaoxian is fighting against these two at the same time. How could he still be so bold? Old worshipper. This. Thinking of this, Zhang Fulong felt a little uneasy and couldn't help but ask. Don't trust those you employ, and ignore those you doubt. Since you choose to believe him, don't interfere. Malao Zonfang still looked indifferent, as if he didn't take this matter to heart at all. Even if we really lose the purple spirit mine, it can be regarded as a lesson learned. Say it. Zhang Fulong was also a little embarrassed. Indeed, Xiaoxian was the contestant he selected. In any case, this is already the strongest person he can find who is below 3 stars in the Blue God realm. Even if something goes wrong, he seemed to have no choice but to accept it. But at the moment, he couldn't help but ask, Malao Zone, do you think Xiaoxian can defeat these two people? Ask this question. Instead, Mu Lozong looked at him seriously and said, in this matter, shouldn't you be more confident than me? This. Zhang Fulong was stunned, but the disciple's cultivation is shallow, so Xiao Xian is the person you personally selected. Moreover, he is also a talented contestant. You should be able to believe that he can easily defeat Mu Shaokong and Xue Qinglin. Malao Zonfeng spoke very calmly. Just like. This is such a normal thing. But for Zhang Fulong, these words shocked him so much that he couldn't believe his ears. For so long. He is also well informed, and he is still very confident in Xiao Xian, but even so, he did not expect Mu Lao's answer to be so straightforward. Do you directly think that Xiao Xian can win? Even Zhang Fulong couldn't help but look at Mu Lao with suspicion on his face. Old worshipper. You mean, Xiao Xian can defeat them and help our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce obtain the Purple Spirit Mine? Zhang Fulong himself was a little unsure. Unexpectedly, Mu Lao Zonfeng could be so confident in Xiao Xian, as if he was sure that Xiao Xian could defeat Mu Shaokong and Xue Qinglin. This was really something that surprised him. Good. Judging from the bones in his body, he is indeed the strongest I have ever seen. Mu Lozong stroked his beard and said, but more importantly, he has a winning spirit that ordinary people don't have. Say it. The people in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce looked at each other a few times, with a bit of shock on their faces. They did not expect that Mu Lao worshipped Xiao Xian so highly. Could it be that he thought Xiao Xian could really fight 1 against 2? Use such a heaven-defying method to obtain the Purple Qi spiritual mine? If Xiao Xian can really do this, isn't this equivalent to him taking action directly and slapping the city lord's mansion and Qinglai Palace in the face at the same time? At the same time, the faces of the city lord's palace and Qinglai Palace were also filled with surprise and shock. Looking at each other, Lei Wan from Qinglai Palace was also a little surprised, but then he cast a sarcastic look at Xiao Xian. The strength of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce was not ranked first. The war hasn't started yet. He never expected it. On the fighting battlefield, he actually ruined his chance to serve in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce just because of a casual remark. Gu Leng also understood that today, he might really miss out on the reward of 200,000 Dao stones. Lewin sneered. Menjian also saw Xiao Xian's saucy move. Over there at the city lord's mansion. With his strength of 3 stars in the Kangshen realm, not to mention being domineering in Wanglong City, he is also highly respected. It was a day that he would never forget. Good. Or even being driven away directly. This is simply an unthinkable thing. He believed that relying on these contradictions of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, they would definitely be defeated. From this point of view, the final enemy was probably Mu Shaokong from the city lord's mansion. The Chamber of Commerce is just a Chamber of Commerce after all. This Xiao Xian actually drove Gu Leng away? Look around. Bone Leng's face was gloomy. He had no idea about his request for help. Under Xiao Xian's cold eyes, who knew that Xiao Xian would be so ignored? Based on his previous experience. Although they don't understand it, the weakening of their opponent's strength is naturally a good thing for them. I quit. Isn't this seeking death? Under such circumstances, doubt and suspicion can kill them in the end. Could it be that with his own ability, he can defeat the contestants from Qinglai Palace and the city lord's palace? Who can help him solve these troubles? After all, today. Ridiculous. Gu Leng discovered that the people around him were looking at him coldly. Apparently. I would like to see how capable your Wanjin Chamber of Commerce can be without my participation. He never imagined that as a gifted elite disciple in Wanglong City, he would be so ignored by others. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 969. Ahahaha. I think this Xiao Xian has lost his mind and gone crazy. Before the battle, he cut off his own arm and drove away the strongest person on his side. Schweckinglen said with contempt on his face, when the time comes, they won't use this excuse to explain their defeat, right? I think it's very possible. Originally, this purple spirit mine was not something they, Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, could get their hands on. Today, since they have this opportunity and they don't cherish it, then don't blame us for being rude. Mu Xiaokong agreed with Schweckinglen's words. The two men looked at each other. In the end, they all unanimously set their sights on Xiao Xian. It is clear. Among the three parties present, only the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is the weakest, in order to avoid eventual complications. Get rid of Xiao Xian is the most correct choice. Oh no. Looking at Mu Xiaokong and Schweckinglen, they plan to cooperate first to deal with us. Zhang Fulong was sweating for Xiao Xian. At the same time, they faced off against two powerful three-star Kangshen realms. This is definitely a big challenge for Xiao Xian, who is only one star of the Blue God realm. Most people may not have the courage. Rest assured. I think Xiao Xian can win in a fight. Mu Lao worshipped and said. After saying this, the people in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce next to them also had a bit of confusion and surprise on their faces. At this time, anyone with a clear eye can see it. Wanjin Chamber of Commerce will soon face the siege of the City Lord's Mansion and Qinglei Palace, and the situation is precarious. If it doesn't work well, you will really suffer something serious. But Mu Lao worshipped him well, but he still had high hopes for Xiao Xian? Is this a little too optimistic? To know whether it is Mu Xiaokong or Schweckinglen, they are both 3 stars in the Blue God realm. If the two of them join forces, it can be said that they will have few rivals in Wanglong City. Xiao Xian, why can you win? How do you plan to fight? On the battlefield, Qing Lingyuan beside Xiao Xian couldn't help but ask, do you think the two of us can compete with them? Hear the question. Xiao Xian was not surprised. He had roughly seen Qing Lingyuan's strength before. He might be stronger than her senior brother Lin Xiao, but not as strong as Gu Leng. Keep Qing Lingyuan by your side. It can only be said to be a small boost. The help for him is also very limited. However, what Xiao Xian liked was that she had no intention of surrendering when faced with the siege of these two major sects. This was the reason why he didn't drive her away. Now, after hearing Qing Lingyuan's question, Xiao Xian just smiled slightly and said, don't they want to attack us actively? Then, let's use the strongest defensive posture, defend first, and then counterattack. You. All right. Qing Lingyuan's eyes were strange, but he still said, what I practice is the way of Ice Soul. I can use ice cubes to freeze the opponent's attack. However, it may be a bit difficult to resist two people at the same time. It doesn't matter, you just need to hold it off for a while. Xiao Xian said directly. Say it. Naturally, Qing Lingyuan was confused for a while. In her opinion, Xiao Xian was completely bluffing, and she was afraid of the two strong men on the other side. What's holding her back? It's nothing more than taking the initiative to admit defeat in the end, that's all. However, Qing Lingyuan also knew that Xiao Xian was now deeply trusted by the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. It might not be that simple for her to cause trouble for Xiao Xian. But she is also principled. I promised Xiao Xian before that he would do his best. At this moment, he naturally did not hesitate and turned his Tao force in his hand. Waves of silvery ice soul aura emerged. In front of the two of them, a huge frozen wall formed. Blocked all the first wave of probing attacks from Mu Xiaokong and Schweckinglen. For such a situation, Xiao Xian also nodded secretly. From what they did just now, although Mu Xiaokong and Schweckinglen were just testing, they could tell that Qing Lingyuan was quite capable. At least she has an understanding of Bingpo Avenue. Still pretty good. At the same time, behind Xiaoxian, a huge abyss of chaos slowly appeared. After arriving at the Blue God realm, the way of chaos that Xiaoxian understood became more and more profound. In the abyss of chaos, a strong way of chaos slowly emitted, full of majesty. There is even a subtle ancient flavor in it. Others don't know this. But Xiaoxian knew. This is because there is Xiaolu in his space magic weapon. The way of chaos. It's a rare avenue. Schwekinglen looked at Xiaoxian with interest. However, if you think that you can defeat us with these, you are a bit naive. Saying. A green dragon aura appeared on him. In his hand, a phantom of a green dragon appeared vaguely. The phantom of the green dragon was ready to go, glaring at Xiaoxian angrily. Only. He didn't hesitate anymore. A green dragon sword appeared out of thin air in his hand, jumped up, and went straight towards Xiaoxian. Since completely devouring the hybrid blue dragon. Once, he tried the power of a punch, and he could break a century-old bluestone with one punch, which was extremely terrifying. Funny. It's enough. At least, make a name for yourself in Wanglong City. But Xiaoxian did not retreat but advanced, taking the serious sword with him, and instead took the initiative to rush towards Schwekinglen. Think of this. You actually want to fight us. But even the mixed blue dragon. Schwekinglen sneered. Mu Xiaokong on the side also had cold eyes. After the target is locked. They were all obviously wary. Xiaoxian also sneered, and a faint sword light bloomed from the serious sword in his hand. It's hard to deal with at first glance. Brother Xiaokong, leave this guy to me. The power of the blue dragon entwined with the ancient bloodline is full of power. Since there is such a good opportunity, Schwekinglen is naturally unwilling to give up. On the contrary, he plans to use today's battle to prove his strength. He has never played against anyone head-on, and Xiaoxian is the first opponent he has encountered. Xiaoxian nodded. Although, what Schwekinglen refined should not be a serious mythical beast, the Qinglong. It's quite interesting. Being able to condense something like this also shows that he is quite capable. The green dragon is an ancient divine beast. Now, he has completely devoured the hybrid green dragon. You know, with his feat of devouring the blood of Qinglong, almost no one in the entire Wanglong city dared to confront him head-on. Blue Dragon Phantom. It seems that the first thing to be solved should be Schwekinglen. On top of the sharp sword. Today, both defense and attack power have been greatly enhanced. All over. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 970. The breath of chaos spreads out. In an instant, a strong ancient aura appeared on the fighting stage, causing some disciples' faces to change color. Ancient atmosphere. Among the legends of Wanglong City, only a truly powerful person in the Golden God realm is qualified to understand the ancient aura. Who knew that Xiaoxian could actually show such an ability now? Seeing the ancient aura on Xiaoxian's body, Schwekinglen was also stunned for a moment, but he still reacted quickly. A blue dragon breath spurted out and rushed directly towards Xiaoxian. Blue flames swept over. The scorching temperature made the battlefield look like a furnace. Together with this, Mu Xiaokong and the other three had to use the power of the avenue to protect their hearts, stepped aside, and looked at Schwekinglen warily. They also understand. Schwekinglen is a complete madman. Especially when fighting, he has always been known to be life-threatening, but now with the breath of a blue dragon, he started attacking indiscriminately. For these forces, Xiaoxian just sneered. Once upon a time, he was the one who swallowed the dragon body pill, and his strength still carried the aura of the dragon. For these dragon breaths, he was really not that afraid. On the contrary, these things made him a little more excited. The last time was about the ancient stone tablet and the demon leader. They all gave him a little taste of the sweetness. He found that as long as these ancient things were of great benefit to Xiaolu, who was an ancient divine beast. If you can get the Qinglong bloodline from this guy. For Xiaolu. Definitely a nice thing to have. However, he also understood that for now, if he drained Xueqinglan's blood, Lei Wanning would probably kill him on the spot. So now, he still couldn't act rashly. Chaos Holy Sword. Xiao Xian's face was solemn, the serious sword in his hand was like a crescent moon, and he went straight to the Qinglong sword in Xueqinglan's hand to chop away. For this rich power of chaos. Xueqinglan also had a look of disbelief on his face. In the end, he gritted his teeth and forced the power of Qinglong to target Xiao Xian in front of him. Cyan power and gray power collided together. Just as everyone thought. When Cyan's power could easily defeat the latter, a magical scene happened. The gray power of chaos. Just like a vortex, it began to slowly swallow up these powers, and even slowly made these Cyan powers weaker. This really makes some disciples unable to believe it. They couldn't imagine it. Xueqinglan, a cultivator who swallowed the blue dragon, could the power of the blue dragon in his body be swallowed by Xiao Xian like this? The power of chaos embraces all things. While swallowing the power of the blue dragon, he quickly transformed these powers into his own power. One goes down and the other goes up. Cyan's strength and speed were at a disadvantage, and he was in danger. Even though Xueqinglan reacted quickly, he still didn't expect that Xiao Xian could defeat him so easily. A grey sword shadow appeared. It stabbed directly into his chest. Green blood flowed from Xueqinglan's wound. He couldn't help but raise his head and looked at Xiao Xian with resentful eyes. Did not expect. You actually hurt me, which is enough to make you proud. There's no use talking about these bullshit. If you really have the ability, defeat me head on. Xiao Xian was unceremonious. The serious sword twisted, intending to directly cause greater damage to the wound on Xueqinglan's chest. Unexpectedly. At this moment, the muscles on Xueqinglan's wound suddenly exerted force and directly clamped the serious sword. Under a force. It actually hit Xiao Xian's body directly. This instead aroused Xiao Xian's secret admiration. Qinglong bloodline. It certainly lives up to its reputation. Although it is just a simple trace of Qinglong bloodline, after getting these Qinglong bloodline. Obviously, Xueqinglan's strength has been greatly improved. Even made him ignore the wounds on his body. Ha ha ha. It's just a slight sword wound, but it's not serious enough to hurt me. Seeing Xiao Xian's surprised look, Xueqinglan smiled instead, stretched out his hand and pinched the long sword inserted in his body. I can tell you that with this power, don't blame me for being rude in the end. Finished. On his face and hands. It actually slowly grew fine scales. Dragon transformation. Xiao Xian's expression changed instantly. He had seen some cultivators who had swallowed the dragon bloodline. These practitioners. During combat, if the dragon bloodline in the body is stimulated, different levels of dragon characteristics will appear on the body depending on the level of the dragon bloodline. Or grow dragon scales or claws. It even sprays dragon flames. Judging from Xueqinglan's situation, he has at least 20 to 30% dragon blood. Damn guy, he actually killed me. Therefore, when facing the person in front of him, he rushed towards the person in front of him without any need for others to say anything. But on the fighting stage, you wanna die? The disciples of each sect will still stay on the sidelines. It does seem very strong. All three of their sects are considered to be the most prestigious ones in Wanglong City, but if their disciples were killed or injured on the fighting stage, they would be killed. Everyone present was also shocked. As the heir of the Dragon clan's bloodline, Xueqinglan also had a look of rage in his eyes. Who knows? Dragon Claw. What's more, Who knows what will happen when a strong man in the little golden god realm is furious. Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, City Lord's Mansion, King Glay Hall. I'm afraid it won't look good when we meet again. Zhang Fulong gritted his teeth and said. Xiao Xian sneered, but speaking of which, I'm really curious about your current state. There might be 5 more bloody holes in Xiao Xian's head. Although the outcome of this battle is very important, it is directly related to the ownership of a purple spirit mine. Shwekinglin. Dragon bloodline. Among the sect masters. He also believed that he should be superior to others and could at least easily defeat ordinary Kangshen realm practitioners. To this is something he cannot accept. Talk about it? Ho ho ho. It can be said that there are already a lot. Such proportion of dragon bloodline. Shwekinglin roared angrily, and the steel-like dragon claws directly grabbed Xiao Xian's head. At least, the disciple who hurt others will definitely not end well. It was obvious that Shwekinglin had already made a deadly move, and he actually planned to kill Xiao Xian with one move. If you really catch it? This catch. Now facing Xiao Xian, he was the first to be injured.